Welcome back, guys, to the Rugby Connection podcast. There's only two of us this week. All we're going to say is get well soon, Harv, and hope you're on the mend soon.
Yep.
Absolute muppet. Yeah, just the two of us, just me and Cam this week. And we're going to do things a little bit differently this week because we've had no URC. We've known that for about a month now, and I'm getting withdrawal symptoms at this stage. Definitely. There was no Prem this week. There was Prem Cup, but
get rid of that.
What we're going to do, we're going to go straight into predictions for next week's URC and Prem, and then we'll get into the good stuff with the internationals, and we've got a little surprise for you this week as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, do you want to start with the Prem? Predictions for the Prem?
Yeah, let's get on.
Right. First off, Friday. Pretty juicy one. Harlequins versus Gloucester.
Ooh. Quins by 6.
Yeah, it's going to be Quins, isn't it? I think it's going to be Quins. I think it's going to be Quins by 10.
That's fair. Yeah, that's valid.
Just out of interest, next week England are still playing because they're playing the Springboks. They're one of the 4 teams that split. So the English players won't be back to camp.
No market.
So we are going to have another round of Premiership with not the strongest teams, I suppose. But yeah.
Some because there's not as many international next week. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, and at the same time is a good one for you, Murray. Newcastle Falcons versus Exeter Chiefs.
Chiefs by 8. And do you know how tempted I am just to drive down to Newcastle and just get a ticket on the day?
When you reckon it's going to be a good game? How far is Newcastle from you?
About 3 hours. 3 hour drive.
I was going to say, it's not too bad, is it? Yeah.
We'll see how money is on the week.
It's going to be Chiefs. It's going to be Chiefs by 12.
Oh, I like this. I'm liking this now.
It's going to be Chiefs by 12. That's what I can see happening. Saturday, we've only got one game, but it's going to be a cracker of a game. Sale versus Bristol.
Sale.
Yeah.
Sale by 12.
Them and Saris have looked pretty good this season. Sale have only lost 1 or 2. 1? One, I think. Yeah. And Bristol have been looking a bit shaky. I'm going to say Sale. What did you say? Sale by 12?
I said Sale by 12, yeah.
I'll give it Sale by 10.
We just don't respect the kickers on this show. We never give it the rounds.
No. There's no such things as penalties in the RCP.
No, there's not.
We don't believe in them. And then only one game on the Sunday. Leicester versus London Irish.
I'm backing London Irish. I'm going to go London Irish by 3. Yeah, why not?
Suppose, yeah. No, I'm gonna back less. I was running it through my mind there for a bit. No, I'm gonna back the Tigers. Not by much. I'll back them by. I'll give respect to the Kicks. I'll back them by 6 points.
Oh, nice.
There we are.
Fair enough. No, gotta give some love to our latest guest, Oliver Hoskins.
Yes.
What a guy. We fight very hard. Lovely bloke.
You tend to, in a lot of the interviews, you do, whenever you mess me, saying absolute vibes. So
yeah, I think we're just very lucky. It's not even like the normal questions at the start. If you ever watched our interviews, we do like in 2 parts. It's like what got you into rugby, some fan questions, blah blah blah. Like the normal.
It's always the fun questions that.
First of all, like music or just films as film. Nobody's gave that answer for his favourite film, and it's a great film. Don't know why nobody talks about it, but no spoilers.
Right. On to the URC. as you said, withdrawal symptoms. I've had them as well because I live and breathe the URC.
We all do.
Friday night, we have the previous champions, the Stormers, taking on the Scarlets in South Africa.
It's Stormers by
It's
15.
yeah. And to think Stormers don't have too many Springboks, so they are going to be pretty full strength. So yeah, Stormers by 15 points because the Scarlets ain't look good this season.
They look good on the attack, as you've always said. But
I always say this: Scarlets are an amazing attacking team. They can score for it anywhere, but they can't defend for shit, and that's why they lose. And here's a team that they did lose to: Ulster taking on Zebre at home. It's a tough one for the Zebre lads.
Ulster is going to be Ulster. I'm going to give Zebre some credit because they do.
They have been, especially at home, haven't they?
I'm going to say Ulster by 8. I don't think it's going to be a whack-in, or it's going to be very high scoring. I can't decide.
I think, as much as I love Zebre and they have improved this year, they haven't had a win yet. So I'm going to say a bit of a trouncing by Ulster. I hate to say this because I'm not the biggest fan of Ulster. Ulster by 20 plus.
Ouch.
I hate to say it, but I could see it happen. I can see it happening.
No, that's fair. I think I might be a bit too kind.
Saturday is going to be a real fun one because we have Benetton versus Edinburgh, Mark II. Benetton.
Again?
Yeah, Benetton taking Edinburgh on at home this time, so Edinburgh going away.
We've got all the boys back though.
It's interesting with that scheduling, isn't it? Because usually they have a bit of a gap between the inter-shield games. You play the teams in your shield twice. Usually there's a bit of a gap in between them. I feel like there hasn't been much of a gap in between this one.
No, it was right before the internationals.
Yeah.
I'm not caring because we all know what happened the last time. So I'm going to say Edinburgh by 30 because the internationals were still when they're finished. So all our boys are back.
As you know, my opinion on Benetton, they are the greatest club team ever. I'm going to say Edinburgh.
Okay.
I'm going to say Edinburgh. I'm going to say Edinburgh to lose. I'm going to say Benetton by 4 points.
Oh, God, I hope not. It could happen.
It's, we'll see.
I'm fairly confident because of what the boys did the last time round. So,
yeah. But you never know. You never know.
I mean, we have had
one, however. Actually, the next one is one we might not know because it's a team that have been hot cold. The Bulls versus Ospreys. The Bulls are at home, back at that fortress of Loftus. I mean, yes, the Bulls have looked a bit hot and cold on the road, but they're back at home.
Bulls by 10. That's fair. I think, yeah, that's fair.
I was going to give it to Bulls. I was going to be a bit more conservative and give us the Bulls by 7, just because they have sort of been found out a bit this year.
Yeah, that's fair.
But moving on to what is going to be a genuine trouncing, flashbacks to the last season's quarterfinal, Leinster versus Glasgow. Leinster versus Glasgow. Last time these two teams met, Leinster put 71 points on Glasgow in a quarterfinal.
I mean, Ireland's not got any fixtures next week.
Nope. They're gonna have their big boys back.
Oh God, it's gonna be. It's gonna be bad.
It's not gonna be nice for Glasgow, is it?
It's gonna be Leinster by fucking 40. Is it at the RDS?
I assume so.
If it says Leinster Glasgow, then yeah. If it's Glasgow,
well, yeah, it'll be at the RDS. It's Leinster at home.
Yeah, so Leinster by 40. Sorry, Glasgow.
Yeah, RDS is possibly the hardest fortress to crack in the URC. So I'm going to say Leinster. I'll give it to them by 30. I'll give Glasgow a chance.
Oh, that. We're into the big games now. We've had some upsets. Is that the URC finished?
I've missed a game.
Come on, man.
Hang on. I didn't look at Sunday. We've got. bear with me. We've got Munster versus Connacht.
Oh, go back, Connacht. Love Connacht.
Go back, Connacht.
Connacht by 5.
Yeah, because Munster beat SAA team, I'm going to say Connacht by 10. I don't like
that. I love the logic. I love the logic behind it as well.
And then the other two on Sunday, Lions versus Dragons. The Lions any day, and the Lions are at home.
I don't care.
Oh, come on, man. The Lions have been good quality. Just because they beat Edinburgh.
No, it's just... If you're giving me 2 teams from those parts of the world that I just don't care for, it's not good. So, but Lions by 9.
Lions by 20 plus.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then Sharkies, my Sharks are back in action versus Cardiff again, playing at home. In the Shark Tank, Cardiff. Get ready. We're not going to have our big boys because obviously we're playing England next week. But I'm gonna back the Sharkies. I'm gonna back them by 12 points against Cardiff.
Thing is, Wales are playing next week as well, so Wales don't have their players. So.
You're right. That's true.
We'll go Sharks. They're in South Africa. Sharks by 7.
Indeed. Anyway, right now we can go on to the.
You sure?
Yeah, I've covered. I've got them all now.
So, we're diving straight into the Autumn Nation series because really that's all we had on this week. But to be fair, if that's all we had this week, I'm happy because what a weekend it was. Okay. We had an upset in Cardiff, Georgia stunning the world, beating Wales, South Africa trouncing Italy, Scotland and Argentina, chaos. We'll get into that.
Chaos.
England and New Zealand shake hands at a draw. Ireland scrape past the Wallabies.
Just.
France, business as usual, unbeaten all year against Japan. Now, we're going to start with the big upset. If you're watching on YouTube, look at the tops me and Cam both have on. Georgia, stunning the world, beating Wales in Wales at the Principality. I don't even know where to begin.
I mean, you and me, all of us at the RSP, we've had plenty of conversations talking about how mad this year has been in terms of everybody's beating everybody, you know, and it's not even just in the top 10. We're seeing teams outside the top 10 like Italy, now Georgia, you know, getting wins over you know, top teams. Yeah. And this is just the cherry on top of the cake. Georgia recording their first ever win against Wales and in the Principality. How mad is that? And also Wales losing to Italy and Georgia in the same year, both at home.
We're going to have to build the question. I know it's been swarming my comment section on TikTok.
It has been.
PVAC out. I know it won't be because we're a year from the World Cup. So just put that into context. No tier 1 coach is getting binned unless like a scandal is leaked or something. But just for fun, like, would you, if you were in charge, would you get rid of him?
Yes.
Why? I'm just in conversation.
I mean, let's look at Wales's year. Last year they got a sort of fluke win of the Six Nations, but then in the autumn they got absolutely trounced by New Zealand. They lost a home series to Argentina last year as well. They lost to the Springboks. I can't remember who else they played then, but then they came 5th in the Six Nations. Lost to Italy. Lost a tour, admittedly got a win over the Box, but lost a tour to South Africa. They haven't won anything this year. They haven't done anything significant. They had a good win over Argentina last week, but they got trounced by New Zealand the week before, and now they've lost to Georgia at home.
It's not looking great. It's probably the most worrying time for the men's game in Wales anyway. Not the girls. The girls have been doing really well.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't even know. Like you love an underdog story, but
It's
two
weird.
underdogs in a year. It's weird.
It's weird seeing Wales perform like that because we're usually used to seeing them as one of the big Northern Hemisphere teams, and they're sitting in 9th at the moment. And if they lose next week, I think they can fall to 10th.
Oh my god!
They if they don't get their shit together, they might fall out of the top 10.
I can see that. I can't see that happening. I can see them being 10th. I can see that definitely happening. That's weird.
I mean, you've got teams like Japan and Italy now hot on their heels. Italy in 11th now, Japan in 10th. Especially Italy, if they have a good Six Nations. I don't know, man.
That's tricky. I wouldn't have Pivot. I don't think Pivot was a decision anyway, but
yeah,
that's just me.
All credit to Georgia, though. What a game.
Oh, yeah. Fact. Well deserved. And
history.
More seat. What was the joke we made? You can't tell Italy to leave the Six Nations. You can tell Wales to leave it at this rate. No, we are just joking. They are a focal point. You can't. The only way to do it would be add and promote or relegate. You can't punish teams the way they're going. But anyway, well done, Georgia. Thoroughly deserved. Hopefully, see more of you. We love to see Georgia. They don't get many games.
It's not a team we usually see come up. Maybe World Cup cycles we'll see them. In warm-up games or whatnot. But it's nice to see them in a proper good Test match.
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to go over to Italy. I don't want to say Rome because I don't feel like it was in Rome, but
no, I don't know. Can't remember.
It was a weird game because it was very close, and we are recording, the World Rugby Awards are officially going on. So, Breakthrough Player of the Year. It's the boy again. Anja Kupawatso is officially Breakthrough Player of the Year. Well deserved. And what a try against South Africa.
Did it again, didn't he? I mean, this game was the epitome of two halves. Italy really pushed. South Africa just about were in front at half time. Italy were pushing, knocking on the door, and they did look the more composed, more in control team in the first half. I'll give it to them, and it really just shows credit to them how far they've come. Capozzo, what a talent he is. That's 3 tries now in 2 games against Australia and South Africa.
Yeah.
But the second half did happen, and the Springboks, my God, did they shift into another gear? Colby, Ketley Arndt, Damien Willemse, Mani Lebok not starting at 10, coming on at 10. Funny how when you put an actual 10 at 10, you do well.
Funny that. Yeah, I love that.
No, really proud of the boys. Against an Italy team, like we said, who have been up, they're not a pushover anymore. It's been such a long time since we've seen the Boks score 9 tries and put 60 points on a team. I think the last time we did that was either Canada in the last World Cup or the USA in the World Cup before, something like that. But
it's been a while then. It's a good thing. We don't, as fun as they are to talk about, we don't like seeing score lines like that.
Yeah, it's I think it's just the pressure from the Boks that Italy haven't quite faced yet. And obviously the Boks, after 2 losses, they needed this win. And playing more expansive rugby, playing more ball in hand stuff. Really nice to see as a Springbok supporter. But again, credit to Italy for that first half. And I think a good try in the second half. Just the 1 try in the second half. Really good game. Can I just shout out one player? Because at the end of this game, you'll know him if you watch the URC. Pierre Bruno, congratulations to you. He proposed to his now fiancée. So big congratulations to them both. What a moment. Massive congratulations. We love to see it. But yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't have anything else to add to that game. We're going into the madhouse now.
Oh my God. What was this game?
We had alcohol, obviously. We had music. We had rugby. We had boxing. We had theatre. We had a
UFC in there. bit of everything.
First of all, and I'm asking the question to you, so as not me being biased, but where does Darcy Graham sit on top winger
Now,
in world rugby?
we're having this conversation earlier, and I did agree with you. This past year, we have decided that Darcy Graham has been, throughout all competitions, Test rugby and club rugby, he has been the best winger in the world, hasn't he?
He is just growing game by game. I mean, his stats are for the
stats are insane, disgusting. Ridiculous. Shouldn't be allowed. I'm surprised he hasn't been nominated for anything. Try of the year. I mean, he scored most of them.
He scored all of them.
You know, or even player of the year. I could see Darcy Graham, if he keeps the way he is, you know, definitely a future player of the year.
Oh, 100%. It's just, I've never had a bad thing to say about Darcy, but this season, you just sit back and go on, what you got now?
You know, it's easy. Oh, sorry, carry on.
He's now in, after the Argentina game, after getting a hat trick.
Yep. Another one.
He is now, another one, DJ Khaled. He is in the top 10 all-time try scorers for Scotland. He has now got Hog's top. Yeah, Hog is top. But he's still adding to it. But it's just 33 caps, 29 starts, 16 tries.
Yep.
Prince of Hike for a reason. I want to get into another player before we dive into the chaos. Finn Russell.
Oh my God.
It is Finn's world and we just live in it.
He was just playing chess. He was the puppet master.
He is.
Honestly.
He is. And like, I think it was actually the Autumn Nation Series social page. Like, how many try assists does one man need? Didn't score any.
It was amazing because it was the same thing every time, but it's so hard to defend because, you know, Finn's running, he'll spot a half gap, he'll snipe through it, and then all he needs is a one-handed offload, and he's setting someone up for a try. Yeah, I think he did it with Tuipulotu's try, Van der Merwe's try. He set Stuart Hogg up, who then fed it to Darcy Graham for one of his tries.
Yeah.
It's
he actually set up Hogg's try as well.
And Hoggy's try, yeah.
And Cameron Redpath's.
There's so many tries. What are there, 8 tries that game from Scotland? Yeah, man.
And then he got all his kicks in, or majority of his kicks in, sorry.
It's hard to picture why. I'm sure he has his reasons, but you know, we couldn't expect this from. Power of hindsight is lovely, but why Townsend left him out of the squad? Because when you have someone who can just, like, without Finn Russell, Scotland are still an amazing attacking threat, but with Finn Russell, they rival any team in the world. You saw them against the All Blacks last week, against Argentina, who, you know, are pretty damn hot on attack themselves. He's just the puppet master, I'm going to start calling him, because that's what he is.
Yeah, I think he's grown out of the Maverick shell, but he's matured so much as a player.
He is, but he's still got that Maverick about him. He's still got.
I'm trying not to be biased here, but he is leaps and bounds ahead of tens across the globe.
In terms of his ability to just play the game.
If you can get like a money back guarantee that Finn Russell will do what he did against Argentina every week, there's nothing.
Yeah, there's the easiest choice of your life. Yeah. But
you will be happy, Cam. I was happy. Townsend said that 10 jersey is Finn's. It's
right as well.
It's Blair and Adam that now need to prove.
Blair, listen, I've said it. I'm a big fan of Kinghorn, and I haven't seen too much of Adam Hastings, but you know, he's a good player from what I have seen. But neither of them can do. Very few fly-offs can do what Finn does. You know, so yeah, and he has this. He's always got a smile on his face when he's doing it, a sort of a cockiness about him. But I love it.
It's almost like, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, because it is cocky, but it's like he's well grounded as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Like he got player of the match, and the reporter, I don't know if it must have been the same reporter, asked like, "How's it feel to be back in the Scotland team playing nice rugby at BT Marshfield?" And his response was literally just he just shrugged and laughed. He just like it's what I do.
Like he's never left.
But I was there, but let's talk about the boxing. That's the only way I can describe it.
First off, before we get on to this, I'll just sort of to set up the madness of this game. In this game, we had 1 red card,
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow cards.
6 cards in 80 minutes.
Two of which to Scotland, being the yellow cards, 3 of which to Argentina, and 1 red card being to Marcos Kremer. Yeah, I'll let you take it from there, and because you were there on the night, you saw it firsthand. Even just watching it on the screen, it was my God, it was quite something.
I genuinely didn't see what happened because it was like I sat in the north stand,
Yeah,
and the second half Scotland were going towards the south, so it was mostly watching the screen. Something, and I know that sounds really vague and stupid, and I apologise. Something happened, and it caused a get a grip, mate. We all love a push and shove. We all love a push and shove in rugby, and it's usually nothing more than that. It's usually a push and shove. The teammates come in, right, boys. You've had your laugh. Get on with it. This was not the case. This was, that's my pal. Get off him.
I'm gonna have you now.
Darcy Graham, we just praised him, threw a punch at like the biggest lock I have ever seen in my life. Then, lead by example, as we always say, Jamie Ritchie, captain, straight in the middle of it, getting yellow carded. Julian Montoya, he's a shithouse, by the way. We'll get into that.
Absolutely, I love him to bits.
But there was a lot of pushing and shoving. Players came in to break it out. Somebody then grabbed Stuart Hogg by his beautiful man bun. Don't care what people say. It's luscious. Leave him alone.
Some people, compare him to Rapunzel in terms of the beauty of his hair. A true sort of a Pocahontas figure.
Love it. To gaze at, but never to touch. There you go.
Oh,
exactly.
We saw the weekend.
See what happens when you touch Hoggy's hair.
Yeah, you get the full wrath of Scotland.
Well, Sione Tuipulotu came in. You don't get an angry Samoan. Don't do it.
Oh my God. Obviously he's a big lad, but I'm noticing now he's like Caleb Clark level big. Like he's a big lad. He's huge.
Don't get Samoans pissed off. Doesn't matter if they're Scottish, English, Irish, Samoan, actual Samoan, doesn't matter. Don't do it. Doohan got involved. Doohan got
don't get a big Afrikaner pissed off. That's another one.
That was one. Yeah, Julian Montoya, right in the face of Doohan van der Merwe. Would you like me to say it in Afrikaans?
What a shit.
Said it 5 times to him.
I
There's
love
a clip.
it.
I will send you the clip. Somebody's managed to find out. And then, like, Jamie Ritchie gets yellow carded because he's captain. The ref's giving a warning, like, blah, blah, blah. What happened there was absolutely shocking. And it was. You don't need to see this on a rugby pitch.
No.
And Julian Montoya instantly just goes, "Oh, they must be so proud of you." And I'm like, what the hell? Absolute shithousery. But Scotland get the win. 52-29. Revenge is a dish best served spicy.
One more spicy. But one more man to mention, because there was one person not playing in the colours of Scotland who did score a home try.
Of course. They had to.
King Boff thought, hang on about this. I'm playing at my stadium here.
It's not even a stadium, he plays next door.
Well, not anymore, is it? Because they got the dam. But yeah, he thought, I'm just going to score a cheeky try of my own just to settle down my teammates.
And it was King Boff's 50th as well, so.
There we go.
We're going to move on. I'm just going to touch on the next few games.
Yeah.
England, New Zealand.
Weird one. Very weird one.
They buggered it. 25-6 up with 10 minutes to go, and it ends 25 apiece. Will Stewart super
Will
sub.
Stewart and Freddie Stewart to the rescue.
Yes.
3 unanswered tries. First Will Stewart, then Freddie Stewart, and then Will Stewart again.
Wild.
And also, before this game, Will Stewart hadn't scored a test try for England. Now he's got 2 against the All Blacks in the matter of
10 minutes.
Yeah.
There is one All Black I want to talk about, and just because I can't think of a player on World Rugby that will catch him when he's full speed. Rico Ioane, his try shouldn't have happened.
Shouldn't have happened. And the fact is, he didn't look back. He didn't look over his shoulder once because he knew no one was catching him. So Manu Tuolangi try failed. Johnny May.
Sorry. Sorry. Love
couldn't catch Rico. But I'm sorry, but this again, I've said it. I don't mind him at centre, but he belongs on the wing. And true as nuts, he scores a try like that on the wing. Put Caleb Clark at centre. Have you seen the size of the lad? It makes more sense to me.
Speak to Fozzie. You could do with some.
I'll ring him up myself.
But yeah, I think New Zealand choked it. England actually had the chance to go for the win. Didn't take it.
England, I was going to say, I think England choked it a bit because I was like, right, you're level with them now, and you've got one more play. I think Bob said it, and it's what I thought as well. Go through a few phases, get into the get over halfway, just go for a drop goal or something. If it misses, you're still gonna have a draw. If it goes over, you win. You beat the All Blacks. Happy days. And Marcus Smith just kicks it out, and I'm like, that was a bit of shit.
Well, since we're talking about a bit shit, Ireland, Australia.
Oh, what a boring game that was.
Both teams on paper. That could have been game of the weekend, just on paper.
But it wasn't because it was awful. Well, it wasn't awful. It wasn't awful.
It was awful. It was horrifically bad.
Yeah.
I don't mind close contested games. But see when it's 3-3 at half time, you're taking the piss.
Yeah. And also the amount of errors in
3-0 at half time.
The amount of errors in this game from both teams, it was just penalty to Australia, penalty to Ireland, penalty to Ireland, penalty to Australia, penalty to Australia, penalty to Ireland. And you're like sitting there like, nothing's happening. Yeah. How many times did both teams miss touch?
Oh God.
Oh my God.
I think I put it in our lovely RCP chat. Like I just took a picture of the scoreboard. It was 67 minutes in.
Someone do something.
Somebody do something. Anything. But little shout out. Nothing to do with the actual game. But our friend Ben O'Keefe is the man behind the whistle this game.
He was. I thought he refed a good game.
Apparently he didn't. I'm not saying he didn't. I thought he actually did all right. But
I was watching.
Could you do me a favour? Go on Ben O'Keefe's Instagram, and he put it on his story, and he kept putting hashtag love the game. People were sending him like message requests, and again, he's a human at the end. Like we all make mistakes, and I'm not trying to like plug our own stuff, but go and listen to Ben. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one of his.
Go on, read it out. You don't have to name the game. Just read the messages.
I'm so embarrassed. This is in his DMs now. Someone sent him this. I'm so embarrassed. You represent my game. You are so clueless as to what the rules are. As soon as I saw you were refereeing the match, the outcome was assumed. If your decisions were impartial, then I could stomach it. But after 4 years of your bias, I can't anymore. Who was he biased towards? He was giving penalties to everybody. All right, let's see another one. Look at your errors during the match, Australia-Ireland. It's unacceptable. Mate, you've had a shocker tonight. Hang up the whistle. You don't realise everyone thinks you're a joke. Jesus Christ, I thought you refed a good game.
Basically, the moral of this story is don't be a dick.
Honestly, and to go into someone's private DMs, yes, I've moaned about refs before, but you don't have to go do a Razzie Erasmus and make it public and send the guy a message.
You know what? Imagine actually being that annoyed that you're going to message Ben O'Keefe, Stuart Hogg,
And honestly,
David
he's
Robinson.
such a nice guy. You've interviewed him.
I have.
You know, such a nice guy. In my opinion, one of the better referees in world rugby, because I do think he's consistent and I do think he's fair. And I thought he was completely fine that match. I thought it was one of the better displays of refereeing this weekend.
I can name 5. Well, to be fair, actually, I'm going to just chuck one under the bus. Just a little bit. Nothing brutal, nothing like these DMs. I'm not going to DM them. I'd actually like them on the show.
To DM them from the RCP account. Slew him on bar.
Like, even though it was a high scoring, very entertaining game, Dixon was not a great referee for Scotland and Argentina.
No.
So, and that's all. I'm not saying for what he did. Go and watch it. Make your own adjustments. But don't go into people's DMs and just, oh, you were shit. You should never do this again. Shut up. Shut up.
And Ben, mate, if you happen to come across this podcast, you know, we thought you were good. Don't listen to the haters because you're a top lad.
Haters gonna hate.
Ireland make it a perfect autumn nations, just scraping past.
Yes.
Without Johnny Sexton, they look a bit flat. You'd think with Johnny Sexton, it would have been a different story. Nice try from Jordi Pataya. And Bundyaki, after his ban, comes back and sort of takes Ireland from the gutters. But yeah, not much more to say about that game. I suppose we go on to today's game.
Yeah, I'm going to finish off on another unbeaten run, but this isn't just for the autumn. This is for
the whole year. How mad? Not even the whole year, because if you look back even further to the autumn nations last year, they didn't lose either.
13 games on the bounce. The
last game France lost
Scotland
were the 2 games
2 years ago.
Were the 2 games against Australia in last year's summer tours.
Such a bad tour. That was such a clunky tour. But yeah.
But since then, they've been unstoppable.
They have. They've been, 35-17. I'm not being disrespectful. That might flatter Japan.
Yeah. I watched the game, obviously, today. I thought France didn't look their best. But in that saying they didn't look their best, they still won 35-17.
So imagine what they did on their best.
Japan, same sort of story from against England, struggling at the set piece, but they did, I thought, in terms of their actual ball in hand play, they did some pretty magical stuff. They made a good crack of it, and putting 17 points against the team to beat at the moment, it was a decent shift, but France too strong at the end of the day, really. Makalou back on the wing, by the way. That loose forward winger hybrid, very interested. But again, I thought we had a brilliant game. I think it's, Fabien Galtier has got a player in his hands there because, when he's thinking of doing like a 6-2 split or a 5-3 split, he now has a back and a forward in one package.
Yeah, that's true. It's frightening.
And two players actually I want to point out for Japan. Jimeno, since 2019, I've been a big fan of his. Absolute monster, playing on the flank now for Japan, but he had a big clean break early on. And then Dylan Riley as well for Japan. He is an absolute talent, and it's hard to miss him because the commentators are always saying his name because he's always doing something. But yeah, I just thought those two in particular had a pretty good shift. And then obviously players like Olivon got to try Ramos off the kicking tee. He missed a few, I think he missed a couple, but I think he's made that 15 jersey his own.
Yeah, that's fair. And just business as usual for France. We're going to do something a little different now.
Yes.
We've not done it for a while. Cam's never done it for RCP. But so, as of recording, the official World Rugby Awards are underway right now. As far as we know, Anja Capuzzo has Breakthrough of the Year for the men's 15s. Ruby 2A has the women's 15s Breakthrough of the Year. Wayne Smith, Black Ferns head coach of the year, obviously.
Yep. Won the World Cup.
Brian Habana got an award. I feel like it's like the longevity or like
interesting.
Well, like a lifetime
I mean, big up Brian Habana. He's a legend of the game.
I'm not being rude. Somebody else got an award. I don't know who they are. I'll read into it. I will get more, but I kind of had a quick glimpse before we started recording. And just because it's award season and we're feeling generous, Rugby Connection are doing awards. They don't mean nearly as much, but
I mean, they do. They mean more.
We're more prestigious than World Rugby. We've never done it. This is the inaugural RCP Awards, but we are more prestigious. We've come together, but we're wanting you, the fans, to vote. I've put my vote in. Cam has done the same. Harv, from being not well, has done it. And Anja and Jemma as well have put their say in. So, Cam, the nominees and the categories as well. Most importantly, we'll start.
So, first off, we'll start off. The categories we've gone for 4 categories. We've kept it simple. Men's Player of the Year, Women's Player of the Year, Try of the Year, and Coach of the Year.
Yes, just to clarify, there's no breakthrough. We're just
We've just grouped them all together.
Just grouped all together, yeah. And it's mostly for the 15s because even though we dabbled in 7s, it's hard to keep tabs on 7 for the most part.
It is. I'll let you start, Murray, because I'm obviously Harv's not here. I'll be sharing Harv's as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll let you kick it off with your nominations for the categories.
Okay, so we'll start with Coach of the Year. I feel like that's a very general one to start off with. I've gone for Ireland's main man, Andy Farrell.
Yeah.
He pushed France to the edge of the Six Nations. He beat the All Blacks in the series in New Zealand. And like we've just said, an unbeaten All Nations. Favourite to be the Lions coach, in my opinion. And
100% has to be, right?
Just been... I was very sceptical, I won't lie. I was very sceptical of Farrell getting the main job originally, but
I mean, Joe Schmidt was good for Ireland, but Andy Farrell has turned them into something else.
It's frightening. But yeah, that's my pick.
All right, we're just gonna go.
Oh yeah, I thought. Sorry.
Yeah, no, 100%. Right, my Coach of the Year. It's hard to pick anybody else than Fabien Galtier. His boys, like we said, are unbeaten for over a year now. And, to turn a team who used to be known as which French team are going to turn up on the day, to turn them into an unbeatable team. And they've also beaten every other top 10 opponent. Every other team in the top 10, France have beaten in this calendar year.
Yeah, that's right. That's unreal. I think you've actually got everyone's nominees. So I'll just chuck it to you.
Yeah. Okay. Harv then has nominated Wayne Smith again. Did the girls do their nominees? Should I go over theirs?
Yeah, go for it.
Anja has gone for Simon Middleton. Again, hard to look at past him until that final game. He was on a 31 game winning streak with
31 games as Red Rose's head coach.
And then an interesting one from Jemma. Gregor Townsend. I'm
not against it. I'm not complaining.
I'm not against it. It was just wasn't expecting it.
So that's your options for Coach of the Year. You've got Andy Farrell, Fabien Galtier, Wayne Smith, Simon Middleton, or Gregor Townsend.
Indeed. Men's Player of the Year?
Go for it. Yeah, Men's Player of the Year.
I've gone for, and I've tried to stick away from the actual nominations, I've gone for Eben Etzebeth.
I love that.
I'm surprised he didn't get into the actual nominations, and I think he's had the absolute year of his career, and he's now a Springbok Centurion. So yeah, Big Eben is my nomination.
Mine's, and his nickname is Royal. Like, it's got royalty in his nickname, And he is having, like even Etzebeth, in your opinion, is having the best of his career. This man is scoring for fun, whether it is tries, whether it's kicking off the tee, whether it's making iconic moments in the Autumn Nations. We mentioned him earlier. It's King Boff. I'm going for Emiliano Buffelli.
Yeah, we said it, didn't we? We said we could, we wanted Boff to be in the actual nominations. Unfortunately, he wasn't. But yeah, what a year he's having. Harv has gone for the obvious but the correct answer in Ardi Sarvea. Ardi Sarvea, and I've had this rant to Murray. He is the best player in the world. He should be in the actual list, and he should win it, but he's not there, and I don't understand. But yeah, Harv has shown him the love, and if Harv didn't do it, I probably would have. Ardi Sarvea is Harv's nomination. Anja has gone with the actual breakthrough player of the year in Ange Capuozzo as her men's player of the year. Again,
what a pick. What a choice.
Pick, and technically she's got it right.
Technically, do we just discard that then? Do we just not count it because he's actually...
Ange Capuozzo deserves an award. He deserves a shot at the RCP award. And then Jemma has gone for one that I really like in Michael Hooper, because in an Australia team who's been a bit up and down, he's just always the player who he's the player that shines in the Australia team, and he leads from the front. But yeah, Michael Hooper.
I like that. I have no complaints about that.
Women's Player of the Year.
Let's go.
I've gone for the Canadian Captain Canada, Sophie de Goody.
Friend of the show, Sophie de Goody.
So yeah, friend of the show, and I'll be honest, I didn't watch much of women's rugby before this year and before the World Cup, and I didn't watch much of Canada in general, whether it be the men's and the women's team. But I did. I tuned in on the Women's World Cup, and Canada did unbelievably well, and it's hard not to recognise Sophie de Goody in that team. Yeah, she, like Michael Hooper, leads from the front, sets an absolute example for her team, and absolute unit on the field. So she is my nomination for Women's World Player of the Year.
Also, just a bonus point for Sophie. When have you ever seen a number 8 nudge it like she does off a cooking tee?
Exactly. She has it all. There
you go. And she was on RCP. She was actually on the show. So
she should be happy she's in the nominations for RCP awards. What about you, Murray? Who have you got? I know who you've got, but who have you got?
My pick's a bit obvious, but I can't look past her. And I tried to not pick any friends from the show, but I've gone for the absolute juggernaut of the Black Ferns on the wing. Whether it's 15s or 7s, she wins it all. It's Portia Woodman.
Again, the safe choice, but the right choice.
The right safe choice. Yeah.
It's the right choice.
She's just... I'm not bringing
she's a World Cup winner.
She's been around for as long as I can remember.
How many World Cups has she won now? 2 or 3?
2. I'm going to say 2. Definitely 2. But she's went and done the 7s and won like Olympic gold, Commonwealth gold, silvers, 7 series, and then came back to 15s and won in our World Cup.
Yep, easy as that. She makes it look easy. Fair play to her.
And she won, and she got World Cup most tries like ever, 20.
Yeah, it's mad. Harv has gone for Marley Packer.
That's a solid shout. I rate
Absolute
that.
solid shout. She's one of those players to watch for the Red Roses. You can't not look away, and you can't not notice her. Yeah, I mean, I don't know his reasonings, but I can imagine that Marley Packer, fair play, should be there.
Yeah, I do.
Anja has gone for one of the players who has been nominated in the actual nominations, Alex Matthews. Again, for the Red Roses, absolute solid. You can't look past her. She's had a brilliant year. Most of the Red Roses players have had brilliant years, but there are a few standouts.
If you're going to pick a Red Rose or a Black Fern as your player of the year,
you're right.
You're right.
And then Jemma has gone for Abby Dow.
By the way, I rate that purely because just her story alone, from breaking her ankle or shattering her ankle in the Six Nations to being at a World Cup final.
A World Cup final.
In the same year. Unreal.
It's, magic recovery. Fair play to her. Deserves to be there. She's in the RCP nominations for the RCP Awards. Last category, Try of the Year. Now, this is the one that I like.
Love a good Try of the Year.
I'll let you start first because we've just mentioned her.
We have, yes. I've picked Abby Dow's unreal coast-to-coast 2-play move against Canada in this year's Rugby World Cup semi-final. Now, if you haven't seen it, me talking about it's not going to hype it up enough. Red Roses got the ball in their dead zone area. Claudia McDonald, skip 1, skip 2, skip 3, run it up to about the 10-metre line in the Red Roses half. Pop it off to the girl we've just mentioned, Abby Dow. And Abby Dow pins the ears back, changes gear. Gone. Absolutely gone. And to watch it live, like I did, at 4:30 in the morning was unreal.
Yeah. Mad one. My one is a bit different to the rest because I've not gone for an international try.
No, you've not. You've gone for
I've gone for a URC try because the rule was it was in all categories for the Coach of the Year and the Try of the Year in all competitions. I've gone for Lucanio Arm versus the Bulls in the URC round 12 of the last one. The kick, the catch, the grubber, for himself, and then he scores by himself. Absolute class. You've seen players like Mac Hansen and Cheslin Colby do it in recent times, but Lucanio Arm showed them how it's really done by adding a little bit of extra spice. And yeah, that's why his try is my Try of the Year.
Is that not sickening that those 3 tries you mentioned happened this year?
Yeah.
It's mental.
Yeah.
Anyway, Harv's
has gone for an absolute gem, a classic. It was going to be the one that I was going to pick, but he pipped me to the post. He sent it to me as Capuozzo versus Wales. It's actually Padavani versus Wales, but we all know the quote. Capuozzo, Padavani.
Love it.
Absolute classic. Obviously, the now breakthrough player of the year in the last effort to beat Wales in this year's Six Nations. Capuozzo runs it. I don't know how he did it. It was magic. And then just the matureness to offload it to Padavani right under the posts, makes the kick all that easily and secures the win for Wales. For Italy.
For Wales?
For Italy. Wales don't win.
Beg your pardon.
Wales don't win.
Wales don't win. There you go.
But then Anja has gone for Emily Chancellor versus England. I haven't seen this try, so I didn't watch this match. So I don't know this try, but I'm assuming it's a good one because that's the one she's gone for.
That's the shittest thing I've heard you ever come out with. That's the worst thing I've ever heard you say.
I can't speak on this one because I haven't seen it.
It was a good try. It was definitely
a good try. Happy days.
Definitely, and it was class. It's just it might be better, but that's good pick. I like it.
And then Jemma has gone for another player who's been on stunning form this year, Rona Lloyd versus Wales.
Another friend
of the show. Six Nations. Yeah.
Please tell me you've seen this try.
No.
You could. A lot of people said it was sheer luck.
Wait, let me Google it quick.
Google it. But it was so good that on the highlights, there's at least 3 or 4 replays of it, and every other try only has the 1 replay.
Versus Wales.
I'm exactly doing it now. So, yeah, I'm going to fill in the blank while finally doing some research. So, yeah, we're doing 4 categories for just a little bit of fun. Rugby Connection awards. I'll put them over our socials, mainly Instagram, and we'll let you, the fans, be a part of it. Comment, click the little vote button on Instagram and stories, and you pick your favourite. Go on TikTok and comment your favourite. But give us a reason why. Don't just say it's this one. He's actually doing it. He's doing it now. He could watch the focus.
How have they not? How did Wales not get that ball? There's 2 players there. Hell of a try. Hell of a try. Really good try. Yeah, I can see why it's there now, but I can see why people might think it's pure luck because. But it's still hell of a try. You can't deny it. Yeah, that's not good.
It was.
I've now seen the try.
There you go. So, yeah. 4 categories. Men's Player of the Year, Women's Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, and Try of the Year. They'll be going out on the pod's Instagram page all week. I'll tag everyone, every host in it. Like, this is such and such's pick. And then there'll be a little thing, like a little vote tally. Let's see. Hopefully there's some fun interaction. I don't want it to just be a stalemate. It's boring if it's...
Oh, well, I'll get my army of South Africans from my TikTok to all join in.
God.
And I'll be voting for Ebenezer Bet and Ukanya Arms try and
I'll get my Scottish army to back Jemma's vote, because it wasn't even me that voted. It was Jemma that picked those. It was Jemma that picked...
Yeah, true. She's picked more Scottish picks than you. You should be ashamed of yourself.
But if I do it, it's... he's not...
An English woman has nominated more Scottish people than you.
I've picked English.
Picked more English people. You are a disgrace to your nation, Murray.
Wow. At least I live in my country.
I live in Wales.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. No, we're going to
move to Georgia.
Nah.
They can play rugby, eh?
That's true. At least I love that. Yeah. So Oliver Hoskin's interview is now available. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. The girls were back this week with a special guest. They had their first guest this week on 2 Props 1 Pod. You get us 2 handsome chaps talking all things international rugby. Coming out this week, we're back in the international circuit within our interview. Well, it's a bit more closer to home for me. Lana Skeldon, Scotland International. I love her. She's like my best friend now. And there's just more guests coming, and there might be World Cup winners down the line again. I'm not saying any more, but there was a very positive talk during the week. But we will finish off on that. Cam, it's always a joy.
As always.
I think it's just going to be us for a few weeks, but Harv, get well soon.
Yeah, Harv, get well. Yeah, at least we won't have any, England chance or anything anytime soon. Next week when we face England, I won't have to deal with Harv if we lose, or his depression if we win.
You'll still have to deal with them. Don't panic. Oh, there you go. We'll quickly do that. Predictions. We've only got 2 internationals next week. We have Wales versus Australia. Australia by 5.
Come on, the Aussies. Come on.
And England, South Africa. I don't like the way you're looking at me. You're not helping. I'm gonna say England. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm going to say the Boks. I'm going to say the Springboks by 12 points. We're going to humble England. And there's going to be no coming back this time for them.
You're taking over. You're signing off.
Thank you very much, guys, for watching this episode once again. As always, go check out our socials, Instagram, and all of our TikToks. Make sure to vote on those polls. We want to see your opinions, and we want to announce the RCP awards. But yeah, Harvey, I called you Harvey. Murray's dying of laughter. And
not now, I'm dying.
This episode has fallen to pieces.
It's all good.
Cheers,
Rugby
guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
We'll catch you next week.
We will. We'll see you next week.